Welcome to a New Beginning podcast. I'm your host, Maureen Doyle. I'm a certified life coach, author, and coffee enthusiast. Did you know that at any moment you can create a new beginning in your health, relationships, career, or mindset? Each week, I will share simple strategies to transform your life and create new beginnings. Ready to start yours? Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Happy spring. I tell you what, it has been raining so much here in Nashville, but the flowers and the trees are absolutely beautiful. Everything is in full bloom. I hope that you're enjoying spring, wherever you are. So today, what I want to talk about is chaos. Many people think that the world is really uncertain right now, maybe even a little bit chaotic, and they are feeling hopeless and powerless. I have seen that in my social circles and even in my coaching practice. And that is exactly what I want to address with you today. How do we handle chaos? Well, first, uncertainty and chaos has always been a part of life. When you look back at history, you can see that it has always been there. That is the 50-50 of life. 50% of life is negative and 50% positive. And sometimes it may seem more like 70-30. But the point is, you can't escape the stressful, negative, chaotic times. And as far as I can tell, it will always be there. So, what can we do? How can we manage or live in the chaos? When there is chaos in the world, we always have a choice. We can jump into the pool and swim around in the hopelessness of the circumstances to the point of even drowning, or we can view it as an opportunity for us to rise above the noise and manage our mind, to get stronger, to become more resilient. We don't get stronger or more resilient when life is easy. We do when life gets hard. Look back at history. There have always been difficult times that create fearful thoughts. And it has always been an opportunity for us to take charge of our mind and hold steady and move forward. Think about this. Whatever happens in the world, the economy, your community, it is just factual. And when I say factual, I mean that it is something that we can all agree upon. We have these facts in the world that trigger thoughts in our brain. And what is causing us to freak out is not really the facts, but it's our thoughts about the facts. Think about this. If you're on an airplane and there is turbulence, think about all the different reactions of the various people around you, including yourself. Some people are freaking out, maybe grabbing their neighbor, while others are doing nothing. They're watching a movie, they're reading a book, they're sipping a beverage. And then there's the flight attendants. No reaction at all. How could that be? The same turbulence, but different thoughts about the turbulence. We can't control what is happening outside of us, but we can control what is happening inside of us. So this is always an opportunity to take back the power of your own thinking, an opportunity to make your mental health stronger. Taking back as much control as you can by managing your mind. If you're feeling panicked, frustrated, depressed, mad, it's because of your thinking, not the facts. So let's talk about our human brain. Our brain's main job is survival. Therefore, our brain is always looking for danger. And boy, each day if you watch or read the news or scroll on social media, danger is being reported. The media is doing their job to get ratings and get us to watch them. And when they report on danger or the negative, our brain gets locked into that. Do you ever notice that it's hard to shut it down and walk away? That's because our brain thinks we need to stay and watch it for our very survival. Remember, the brain is always looking out for danger, and the media is giving us a steady stream of negative information. When you're not conscious and intentional about what you're consuming in the way of news, you have actually delegated your thinking, your brain, to someone else. You have given up your power, your agency. So what I want to offer to you at this time is to limit your exposure to your newsfeed and to your social media. Your brain will get addicted to anything that spells danger. It's like your very survival is at stake. But you truly do not need to watch the news constantly. Look around your life at this very moment. How are you? How's your family? Our brain has a hard time focusing on the present moment. And so it is your job to direct it to do so. Take a few deep breaths to ground yourself in the present moment. What are you grateful for right now? Just look around your life, your home, your family, your friends. Gratitude has the highest vibration, and that's why it feels so good. And if you want to watch the news, limit it. Be intentional. And by all means, don't watch it before bed. I like to check the news at the beginning of the day, and that's it. Just 10 minutes. Truly, how much more do we need? And if you are not intentional or careful, 10 minutes can turn into 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and 1 hour of scrolling, jumping from one news story to the next. So don't get hijacked. Don't let your day get hijacked by the news or your phone. And if you watch or consume news, or you hear information that is scary, think about this. You really should balance the scales. And what I mean by that is to watch or listen to something that is positive. Balance the scales. That might be listening to a positive podcast, or reading something positive, or going for a walk. Breathing in nature, listening for the sights or looking for the sights and listening for the sounds. That will balance the scales. So let's talk a little bit about worrying, because that goes all along with this. Well, worrying right now may seem very useful, but I don't believe that worrying is ever beneficial. I do believe that you should always look ahead and get things in order, but then you just don't have to worry about it. You can trust that if something happens, that you will be able to deal with it. When we are worrying, those worrisome thoughts seem to multiply. They just get bigger and bigger until our brain is completely hijacked by panic and chaos. It is like your brain is pointed in the direction of worry, and it looks for more and more opportunities to freak out. But remember, you are in charge. Direct your brain. If it is directed in the path of worry, just redirect it. This is what I like to do. I like to thank my brain for looking out for me and pointing out any danger. Remember, our brain's main job is our survival. It's always on the lookout for danger, and then that sets us up on the path of worry. So I thank my brain, and then I let it know I am no longer interested in worrying or spending time on worst case scenario thinking. I redirect it. And here's why I am so committed to not worrying. It is very difficult to create anything positive from a feeling of panic or anxiety, or from a place of worrying. It is like pushing a boulder up a hill. It is absolutely exhausting. Now, I have heard from others that they believe worry is necessary, and I completely disagree. You can be so much more creative when your brain is not locked into survival. When our brain is focused on survival, you can't think outside of the box. You can't come up with creative solutions. That's because you have gone into fight, flight, or freeze. And here's another thing. It is okay to be positive right now. It is okay to be calm. Sometimes those around you want you to join in and think the way they think. But always make sure that you are thinking for yourself. Because when you are calm and you possess calm energy, it is contagious. You can spread calmness to those around you because they can absorb your energy and feel calm as well. And if you go into panic and worry and hopelessness, the same thing can happen. That energy that you have will also be contagious. Would you rather rise above the noise and the panic and reclaim your power by managing your mind, or drowned in a sea of fear and despair? When you're in a place of calm, you can think about how you want to respond to the world around you instead of just reacting. So take back your brain and use it to be creative in this time of chaos or uncertainty. Another thing I want to talk about is embracing reality. One of the surest ways to suffer is to not accept reality. When we argue with reality, we always lose. My father always used to say, "It is what it is." And that doesn't mean that we don't work to change our personal life or even work to change the world. We can always do that. What I am talking about today is the decision to approach life knowing that there will always be obstacles, always the 50% negative. And we can always decide to manage our mind and build our resilience and get creative and step up to these challenges and grow and evolve. Or we can sink into despair. The choice is ours. You know, I have emotions just like everyone else. And I tell you what, fearful emotions and all of the negative emotions. But as a coach, I can see what thoughts that I have that are causing any sort of stress or anxiety. And then I realize that these are my thoughts and I have control over my thoughts. I have control what is happening inside of me, my thoughts, my feelings, and I have control over my actions and behavior. And I realize that what I don't have control over, and I don't spend a lot of time in a place where I don't have control. I notice it and shift. I shift to what I can control. So this week, first and foremost, protect your most valuable asset, your mind. Limit exposure to the news and to social media. Get outside and move. Listen to the sounds of nature. Take your shoes off and stand in the grass. Breathe deep and get grounded. If you notice your brain going in the direction of worry, bring yourself back to the present moment. Look around your life and notice what you're grateful for. When you flip your brain into gratitude, you can't help but feel better. If it's hard to find something to be grateful for, look at the sky, the trees, the birds. I can always feel gratitude for nature. Accept the world for what it is right now. Stop arguing with reality. Focus on what you do have and not what you are lacking. You have your brain and your ability to decide what to think, what to believe, and how you want to live your life. You have a lot more power than you might think. Have a wonderful week, my friends. Talk to you next week. If you enjoyed this podcast, check out my free workbook, 6 Secrets to Getting Anything That You Want. Head over to maureen-doyle.com/6secretsguide to pick up your free copy today.